Welcome to another episode of That Blind Tech Show with Brian, Serina, Jeff, and Marlon. We also want to direct you to our Facebook groups, That Blind Tech Show, along with the Blind Abilities Community Group and the Accessible Technology for the Blind and Visually Impaired Community Group as well. And if you're looking for work and searching for that new career, check out the Facebook group Career Resources for the Blind and Visually Impaired Community, where you can stay up to date on all the happenings coming out of That Blind Tech Show and Blind Abilities. Email us in at thatblindtechshow@gmail.com or at info@blindabilities.com. It's showtime. Hope you enjoy. Serina, that's the trouble with students. They lack education.
Oh my goodness, do you know what you just said?
Like you typically see on photos, they might talk about, this is me and blah, blah, blah. However, the alt text is the next one. So when you touch on the photo, it'll say the description of the photo.
Edit alt text button.
So it reads almost all of the text in the pictures that people are posting. I also use a lot of groups, like there's one called Meme Jokes for Blind Folks.
Real interesting one here, Jeff. About a guy who I guess was blind, visually impaired, and he got hit by a car and now he can see.
I am attending, it's the Blind Leaders Development Program.
I have plans, Serina. Don't you know that about me? I have a lot of plans.
Big dreams, big dreams.
I guess 2 weeks after the guy got hit by the car, his sight came back and is living a normal life now. That's like the new divorced Barbie, comes with half of Ken's stuff.
Oh my goodness. Or did they really get progressive and Ken comes with half of Barbie's stuff?
Ooh, I like that.
Because she is the breadwinner. That was 30 minutes ago.
That was much longer than 30 minutes ago. I really gotta pee. Let me finish this.
Oh my goodness. We do not. I told you.
Why is that going to make the podcast?
I told you.
I feel like Forrest Gump, when he's at the White House, I had like 15 Dr.
Peppers. Mm-hmm.
3, 2, nothing. Wise. 1.
I hate when you do that.
Welcome back to another That Blind Tech Show. It's a groundhog-centric episode. With me are my two favorite groundhogs, Serina, Nicole, Gilbert. Can I use all those names or no?
Drop the groundhog too.
What is going on with you two?
Brian.
Jeff, I'm introducing my female, Serina, and you're stepping all over her.
I'm your female now? What?
I know. Whoa.
I'm just going to get it out of the way. Cat, kettle, black. It's my new catchphrase.
Jeez.
Okay, countdown.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another That Blind Tech Show, take 74. Yes, it's been that many takes because Jeff keeps speaking over the introductions. I'm here with two of my favorite people, not groundhogs. How are you doing today, Serina?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic because we're only a few days away from the Super Bowl. I guess I can't use that. I am doing great because
take 75.
we just had one heck of a Super Bowl. We're trying to confuse the listeners. Did this podcast happen before or after the Super Bowl? And with us as always...
Are you saying Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. Yeah, Super Bowl. It's a football game that just happened or
you're
maybe happening in a few days.
Super Bowl? It's Super Bowl.
Super Ball are those high bouncing balls made of rubber.
Oh, those were awesome. Did you have Super Balls as a kid or just Super
Oh my
Ball?
goodness. Do you know what you just said?
It happened last Sunday.
Oh, the game already happened. That was an awesome Super Bowl. With us as always, Jeff Thompson. How'd you enjoy the Super Bowl, Jeff?
You said it again.
That's because we butchered that intro.
Jeez.
If you two don't stop laughing, Serina, it's going to make it very hard for me to get through this show.
Super Bowl instead of Super Ball, we'd be fine.
Bowl, that's what I said. You can't understand a New York accent.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
Smart Pack?
Just hit the clicker. Car packs itself.
It's smart.
It's wicked smart. And I can pack it anywhere.
How about Dorchester?
Packed it.
Foxborough.
Packed it.
The Garden?
Packed it.
Saugus.
Packed it.
Swampscott?
Revere.
The Harbor?
Are you kidding me? I packed it and then unpacked it.
You unpacked it?
Kid. Game changer.
Jeff, are you still with us, dear?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to figure this out. I feel sorry for those small fish that are kept in those small aquariums. That's what's happening right now. I'm looking over at you, Brian, and going, my gosh, he doesn't get out much, does he?
I get out every leap year, once every leap year. But speaking of somebody that'll be getting out soon, Jeff, we've got a new groundhog on the scene out of Connecticut. Weighing in this corner, we have Sparkles, the groundhog, coming out of Connecticut. And Jeff, why don't you tell the listeners what's fascinating about this groundhog?
Well, Sparkles is blind and has a partner. It's a hedgehog, not Sonic, but it's a hedgehog, and helped it figure out about the shadows. You know, the shadows, if it sees its shadow. That was on the second, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. How cool was this? Interspecies deciding whether or not we'll have 6 more weeks of winter, Serina.
Because, of course, the groundhog's always right.
Well, is a blind groundhog always right?
Can't go wrong, right?
We'll find out.
We will.
Just as accurate as the weatherman, so.
Well, okay, Sparkles, let's do this, okay?
My shadow!
No, that's not a shadow, that's a tree. No, okay.
Yeah, my shadow.
No, that's not a shadow either, that's a goat. No, neither that. That's not a shadow at all, that's an even larger goat. Oh.
My shadow?
Oh.
That's my shadow?
Oh, okay, well, I thought that was a shadow too, but that's not a shadow either. That's a bald guy doing a podcast. No, I don't think this is working out, Sparkles.
But that's the thing. The first time we hear about a blind, not a hedgehog, a groundhog doing this task, what does PETA do, Brian?
Yeah, PETA's got a rain on Sparkles parade because while Sparkles... Try this.
Can you say Sparkles with a little more dignity? Not a hedgehog, it's a groundhog.
Okay.
Ready in the studio, take 76. Ready on mic 2, and action.
PETA, they've got a rain all over Sparkles parade because Sparkles is just getting into the shadow game. He's only 3 years old. I was stunned to learn that Punxsutawney Phil, who a lot of us know from the great movie Groundhog's Day, Jeff and I figured, Serina, that Punxsutawney Phil was just the name of all these groundhogs and they replace them when they die every 5 years. Punxsutawney Phil is 137 years old. And PETA came out insisting that isn't it about time that Punxsutawney Phil gets to retire and maybe we should have a AI robot telling us if we have 6 more weeks of winter.
You too can get the new Punxsutawney Phil, the AI robot for your kids. An hour of fun 1 day a year. New Punxsutawney Phil. Get yours today. No groundhogs were harmed during this recording. Sponsored by PETA. Son, I know you wanted the new Nintendo, but I got you something brand new. It's artificial intelligent Punxsutawney Phil. What the fuck is that? Son, it's artificial intelligent. It's Punxsutawney Phil. What the fuck?
What are your thoughts on Punxsutawney Phil, Serina, being 137 years old, and AI robots telling us the future of weather?
Are you sure he's 137 years old and they're not just telling us that to make us feel better about it? Because that seems really unrealistic.
How many groundhogs do you know?
I don't know, but it seems odd that they would live that long.
Well, maybe it's like 137 years old in like groundhog years, and 1 human year equals 76 groundhog years.
The very first Groundhog Day took place in 1887 at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Punxsutawney Phil is the name of a groundhog in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. On February 2nd each year, the borough of Punxsutawney celebrates the legendary groundhog with a festive atmosphere of music and food.
You know, it's been around for so long, it's something we grew up with, and now they want to replace it with...
I am Phil.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not working for me.
And it's just not the same. And the tourism, they get like 30,000 people every year coming out to this thing. And to those people, I say, what, you couldn't afford to go to the Super Bowl? I mean, it doesn't seem like a thing that I'd want to go out to, but they make a whole huge deal of it. I mean, it's this city's big thing.
Yeah,
and,
there were 30,000 there this year, too. So it's not dying down.
And something tells me it's 30,000 single people. But PETA, they just always want to screw everything up. Jeff, you've been involved with computers for a very, very long time. When was the last time you tried to fix your own computer? Because I love this article.
Well, fixing the abacus was a piece of cake, but some of these stories, you know, I can't imagine some of the stories that some of these places get when the people bring in a computer like, oh, what'd you do? I put it in the microwave. I put it in the oven. I stuck it in the freezer. You just never know when you leave it up to someone's own logic, do you?
Hey, I did once when my mom dropped her toilet. When my mom dropped her iPhone in the toilet, we did pack it in rice, and it did work for a little while longer and everything. So some of this stuff is true.
That's common sense, though. I mean, rice will... I mean, did you ever put a laptop in a microwave and turn it on?
only when I wanted to reheat it because it was too cold to use. I mean, yeah, some of these people, but there are stupid people out there. Serina, you probably know some stupid people. Have you ever heard anybody do anything stupid when trying to fix their computer?
I don't know any stupid people. Nope.
Welcome to That Blind Tech Show, though.
Present company excluded. I mean, included.
Thanks for coming.
No, I mean, the rice thing, I've definitely heard people doing that, but that's not a stupid thing. It legit works. And from that article, I was shocked by the college student who put her laptop in the oven to dry it out.
Because you're thinking, how did she get into college?
Yeah,
might work.
And then the Ethernet cable being hooked up to AA batteries to make their speed faster. Like, come on.
That was pretty funny.
Serina, that's the trouble with students. They lack education.
Well, they do encourage students to think outside of the box. This was just way too far out of the box with some of those ideas and everything. Have either of you guys, on a related note, ever decided to get rid of a computer? And how much fun it is to try and get the hard drive out of some of these things so you could smash it? Because I remember one time we had to take a sledgehammer to a hard drive, and it took us an awful while to destroy it. But have you ever done anything like that?
What kind of secret information were you trying to get rid of, Brian?
Yeah, Brian, we got time.
What crimes were you covering up?
Serina and Jeff must never find out. Never.
I think you should just use some bleach. That Hillary, she just used bleach, you know?
Well, you guys have given my passwords away to everybody on this show, so I don't know why. I mean, this was years before the show, so at least in the future I don't have to worry about getting rid of devices.
Well, if you'd stop making your password, you'd be fine.
I told you, it wasn't that complex. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. If there's anything we've established, it's that.
I think we are pretty guilty of that, aren't we, Brian?
Yes, we. I like to be inclusive, because if there's one thing that this show's about, it's inclusivity. So, Jeff, the European Union, at first this kind of news shocked me, but I guess, it's a long time coming. And I'll tell you, this was really interesting. The European Union voted recently that all cell phones are going to have a universal charging port. And, I think Apple's already been going the way of the USB-C, but something tells me they're not going to like their hand forced to get rid of that lightning port by the EU.
What we have here is a failure to communicate, to dongle. I think that's what we need. We need one more dongle from Apple, a world dongle. Yes, the world's dongle. Brought to you by Apple. # plug into this. Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Get anybody that has an iPhone, I guess 11 or earlier, you need to leave Europe. So what were your thoughts about this, Serina?
I don't understand what the point is. Like, who cares what people are plugging into their phones? I did think that some countries already had some rules for universal chargers, because I thought, and maybe I could be totally wrong, but I thought overseas they did have a different plug on a lot of the phones over there. But
well, they have that silly plug, where our stuff won't plug in there unless you plug it into that dongle and everything. So yeah, they have that. But I think the main reason for this was they were quoting waste, because they were getting sick of people wasting and throwing away the cords or something every time they switch phones. It was a weird reason and everything. And, thank you to the European Union, the people that have completely gotten every company in the United States to change privacy and reasons we keep getting millions of emails and everything. This just seems completely senseless to me. And what has the European Union done? And you can email us in at thatblindtechshow. Let us know. What have they done that's been good? Thatblindtechshow@gmail.com. And at least we're not offending a country that way. We're just talking about the European Union and everything.
Okay, hello. Welcome to the EU. I am Hans, and I will be searching your bag today. Let me just look in here. Oh, yes, we have a bag with marijuana. Well, you have to relax, okay? We can put this aside here. Let me see. What's this? Rocket-propelled grenade, RPG. Well, you have to protect yourself, I guess. Put this on one side here. I see. Oh, wait, what's this? Lightning cable? A lightning cable? What are you, some sort of terrorist? Arrest him!
Sir, back away from the soda pop.
What do you think within the next 2 years, Jeff, that iPhones and iPads will be charging USB-C?
Well, yeah, it seems like they're going to be doing that right now. I mean, every time a new phone comes out, they verify that it has a lightning port. I believe the 12 may have a lightning port still. I don't know if they're going to move that direction. I mean, we know that they're not coming back with the earphone jack, but being that the iPad now comes out with the C on there, it's going to be interesting because now the iPad can connect up with a MacBook Pro or a computer to swap files. So it's going to be interesting to see what the phones do. I don't know why I'm just talking about the phones, but is that what the article stated? All phones will have to have the same charging?
No, I think it's all devices. And I don't know, is it just the iPad Pros that charge USB-C? I haven't gotten an iPad since 2018, and my devices all have the lightning port still. I mean, it really doesn't matter to me if this happens one way or the other. I just have to replace my cords and everything, and everything else is Bluetooth. I think probably, if not this year, then next year, I would imagine Apple will fully move to USB-C.
What did Antarctica have to say about this?
They never get included in anything.
No.
Thought it was pretty interesting because there's been a lot in the news lately about subscription services and whether or not that business model is sustainable. And we know that FlickType, it's not Flexi, FlickType just got rid of their subscription model. Serina, outside of streaming services, are you subscribe to a lot of monthly services or yearly services that renew through the Apple Store?
The only one that I'm subscribed to right now is Envision AI because I wholeheartedly think that it's the best OCR app out there.
Here.
And I think it's only like $3 a month or something like that. But I have no problem subscribing to that because they really do listen to you and take your feedback into account, and they're constantly improving it. It rarely has bugs and things that are happening with it. It's super fast. I think that's the only one that I have. Even my Apple Music, I don't pay for that anymore because it's through Verizon now. So that's it.
Yeah, the only ones, now that I'm thinking about it, the only ones that I have are Apple-related charges. I have iTunes Match, which is getting ready to renew, and I'm thinking about finally canceling it because I never listen to music on my phone, so what's the point? The only other thing is my iCloud storage, where I do pay for the monthly, I think it's, $9.99 for 2 terabytes of storage? But outside of that, everything else are music or TV services, and Amazon Prime, which is obviously once a year. How about yourself there, Jeff? Do you have any monthly recurring apps outside of Envision AI?
Envision AI came out with that lifetime plan, and I think it was $36 or something of that nature. I purchased it there, so I got it for a lifetime now. And most everything else that I do is on a yearly basis. Like I got Office 365, I got Dropbox, I pay for that, and I got Zoom. Zoom comes out on a subscription, so I think it works pretty good. Flexi, FlickType, that's come and gone a few times, and it's always been a money thing. So I don't know if all subscription things are going to work or if they're going to fail, but I think the big companies, it must be working for them.
Yeah, it sounds like it really works for the big companies where they can have millions of subscribers. I think these smaller organizations like FlickType, they seem to be starting to move back to one-time pricing.
Here's a new one. Castro is a new podcast app, okay? And it's supposed to have all the bells and whistles in it all, but it's $18.99 a year. I mean, I don't think it can improve that much over the podcast app or Downcast, Overcast or something. $18.99 a year. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems a little high. I don't know what people are paying for in that. What else can a podcast player really do?
We need to do something. Timmy's locked himself in his room listening to that podcast player again.
If he keeps that up, he's gonna go blind.
Timmy!
Uh-oh.
Disgusting.
Well, stay tuned.
Serina, we know that out of all the people on That Blind Tech Show, when I say all, I mean the three of us, you're the one that is into the memes and everything. And I love that voiceover. Either I spelled it incorrectly or it wants to read mimes. So we're not talking about people that, don't talk and do things. I thought this was really interesting because this article about memes still being inaccessible to the blind appeared in Time magazine. It's not exactly the source I go to for a lot of my blind tech news. So I did think it was fairly interesting that Time brought this up. What are your thoughts as somebody who is a fan of the memes and where their accessibility is these days?
I will say they're getting a lot better because of Facebook's alt text. They fixed the formula that they had going, so it reads almost all of the text in the pictures that people are posting. I also use a lot of groups. Like there's one called Meme Jokes for Blind Folks, and all of them are described, including like if there's a picture or something like that. But outside of Facebook, I'm totally clueless. Instagram does decent too with describing them. I would agree they're pretty inaccessible, but the AI is out there, I feel like, to make them more accessible because people are using the same pictures and just adding different text to them to make it more funny. And I feel like there's ways to get things a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, and that's what this Time article focused on, that the alt technology is out there. People just aren't making use of it. Jeff, are you a fan of the memes? And can somebody tell me how we actually spell that? Did I spell it correctly? M-I-M-E-S.
M-E-M-E-S.
Okay, so I was wrong. I spelt the people that we all want to kill, mimes.
Marcel is dead.
Who's that? I know the reference. Was he a mime?
Was he? He is the mime.
Okay. Name his main competitor.
That was me just now.
Yeah.
There's a wall in my room. It's probably Vice President Pence. Yeah. They came along and they were just silent movies to me. Not even movies, but like postcards that you couldn't access. And Serina and I talked about this a long time ago, and she's an advocate for getting them going. I like that. What do you call it? Meme jokes for blind folks?
Yes, it's called Meme Jokes for Blind Folks. And then there's also one that's got more R-rated jokes in it that's the same title, but it's got NSFW.
Yeah.
NSFW, not safe for work, mean jokes for blind folks. And everything that's shared in there is fully described. You can also, if you come across an image and you're like, I wonder what this is, you can just post it to the group, and then the admins will repost it and describe it and tag you in it so that you know when it's been posted.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
When you said that, not safe for work, I bet you everyone just paused the podcast and went and looked it up right then.
They're really not safe for work. They are very dirty jokes that go in that one.
And now the rest of them just paused the podcast and went to it.
Like, let me see what this is. Yeah, I really, really like that group. The last time I looked, I think it had 700 or 800 people. It might even be more now, but it's been super, super useful for me. I use a lot of the things that are posted in that group. I actually post it on Facebook pages and things like that. So really enjoy it.
Oh, that's great. I like it when things are described. You know, this has been the year. Last year was a big year for audio description, describing stuff. So I hope the pace keeps moving in this direction. I can't even get my family to turn on alt text so they can describe on Facebook. You can type it in.
Yeah, I've got to do a better job of that. I always write what the photo's about, but I guess I'm not doing it properly, as Serina pointed out to me a while back and everything.
Ever put a photo up on Facebook and you wish you could put some alternative text in there so people knew what it was? Or you came across a photo and you wish someone else would have done it? Now you can do it yourself. So you're on your phone, you go to Facebook, and you put a photo up there, and you want to put the alt text in it. Well, there's a certain process that you have to do this. First, you have to get the photo up there, and then you can come back and put the alternative text in there. So here's a photo that I put on the Facebook group, Assistive Technology for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Photo, image of a woman with a guide dog and a man with a white cane walking towards a city skyline, with the words, Job Insights, in bold black letters.
And here's the steps that I did.
Create post button. Write something.
I kept single finger swiping left to right until I got to
Photo video button.
Since I knew the date that the photo was taken, I selected it from my camera's photo library.
Photo, January 29th. Selected. Done. Photo.
Upon getting back to Facebook, I single finger double tapped on the photo, and I proceeded to navigate with a single finger swiping left to right.
Doodle overlay button. Caption overlay sticker button. Tag people
So that's my only options right now. However, after I publish it, I can come back and do this again, and there'll be a different set of options. So let's publish it. All right, now going back into the published post, this is what I get. And remember, I already put the text in there, but you'll see the text box where you can put whatever you want or edit what previously has been put in there. So like I said, after single finger double tapping on the picture, up in the upper right hand corner, you'll find this button.
More button.
Single finger double tap.
Alert, delete photo button.
Now swipe down to
Edit caption button.
This option allows you to put a caption on the photo. Like you typically see on photos, they might talk about, this is me and blah, blah, blah. However, the alt text is the next one. And this stands for alternative text. So when you touch on the photo, it'll say the description of the photo.
Edit alt text button. Change alt text heading. The automatically generated alternative text for this photo is image may contain text. Add alternative text that describes the contents of the photo for people with visual impairments. Image of a woman with a guide dog and a man with a white cane walking towards a city skyline, with the words, Job Insights, in bold black letters, text field.
And that's what I previously put into the text box earlier today. But you can go in and edit this or clear it and start over.
Clear button.
So if you want to publish a photograph and put a description on it, just go through this process and the alt text will describe to all the visually impaired people what exactly the picture is, or at least how you described it. So a big shout out to Serina Gilbert for giving me this tip on putting the alt text into a photograph on Facebook.
The coolest thing, though, is I would have not ever have expected that an article about this content come from Time Magazine. I thought that was pretty cool that behemoth like Time Magazine's getting on board the accessibility train.
Yeah, that is good.
Not from a mainstream tech blog.
Have you guys seen that Picard came out and Roy Samuelson, our favorite audio describer, described it?
I'm not a Trekkie by any means, so I didn't go out to watch this. I did hear when it first came out, was it like out for a day or two, it didn't have described video, or this is a joint project between CBS and Amazon, I believe, and only the Amazon, I don't know. I wasn't really following the story and everything. What was the deal with that, Jeff?
Well, it's out on CBS. What is the...
All Access.
Yeah, for $9.99 you can get it, and it just came out. They have a trailer, but that didn't have audio description, and then you can get a week free of it. Second episode just came out, and now they both have, the first two episodes do have audio description, and it's done by Roy Samuelson. So that's pretty cool. There was a little uproar there, but I guess it wasn't, coming across on Apple TV or something. Some people were having some difficulties, so a little bit of an uproar, but I guess everyone's happy now.
And I just got some breaking news in my ear. I need to update my iCloud settings on my computer for the 50th time.
Jeff, I think that All Access is either $3.99 or $4.99. It's definitely not $9.99 though. So you can look that up and fix it.
And now for That Blind Tech Show fact check. What is the subscription rate for CBS All Access? Watson?
The All Access service is usually $5.99 per month with ads or $9.99 without.
So there you have it. Since the Iowa caucus all the way to New Hampshire, let's see the results. Jeff at 626, Serina at 622, and Brian at 2.
So Jeff, we go to Jeff for our just horrific stories out there. So Jeff came up with a real interesting one here, Jeff, about a guy who I guess was blind, visually impaired, and he got hit by a car and now he can see. So it got me to thinking, Jeff, what would you be willing to, what's the worst thing you'd be willing to do to get your vision restored?
What would I do? What extreme? I'm not going to go stand out in the highway and get hit by a car and say, hey, it worked for that person.
Okay, so I walk in the middle of this here highway and I wait. Okay. Ow! I can see! Ow! Oh, man, now I'm blind again. Ow!
We here at That Blind Tech Show do not recommend walking out into any road, any highway, without the proper training in orientation and mobility. Contact your vocational rehab services and see what they can do for you. Yeah, no, I don't know. It was kind of one of those freak accidents.
What's something wild and crazy that you would do, and if you did it and lived, you'd get your vision back? That's the question.
Make love to Sandra Bullock. I hope I could see after that. I don't know. That's wild and crazy. How's that?
Not the wild and crazy I was looking for, and stop trying to have an affair with my future ex-wife.
I thought that was Jennifer Aniston.
I plan to marry both of them in my lifetime. I have plans, Serina. Don't you know that about me? I have a lot of plans.
Big dreams. Big dreams.
I guess 2 weeks after the guy got hit by the car, his sight came back and is living a normal life now. Probably took him, 7 months to get Social Security all straightened out and get everything. That's be funny. You get your sight back and all of a sudden all your benefits, whoosh, gone. You're in a worse spot than you were with.
And he's unemployed.
And then you got your voc rehab counselor calling you up and saying,
Wait. He got hit by a car and now he can see. So did he lose his medical benefits while he was in the hospital bed recovering from getting hit from a car?
Yeah.
See, these articles just don't go into a lot of depth.
Yep, it takes 9 months to get your benefits started and a month to wait after that. And yet when something like this happens, it takes about 9 seconds for you to lose them all.
The people I don't get is that the ones that say, oh, I don't care if I ever see again because we see with our heart, not our eyes. I don't get those people.
Well, Brian, some people are very content. They're not going to waste a second of time worrying about something that can't happen. So, I understand it.
Well, Jeff, when you're married to Sandra Bullock and Jennifer Aniston, the best part is probably being able to see them because they probably don't have much personality.
Oh, Brian, you're so skin deep.
And sexist.
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah.
You'll hear it in the podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'll turn up the decibels.
Excuse me. A lot of companies out there, I'm talking to you, Apple, have not been having a banner 4 or 5 months with accessibility. But a couple of companies, and this is for our sports fans out there, that have had some pretty good improvements with accessibility. If you're a sports fan, Jeff, got into this site called pristineauction.com, which is going to get me in a lot of trouble because they have an awful lot of Yankee memorabilia. And when I first went to the site, it was not accessible. We reached out to them. They fixed their accessibility, and now everything is 95% accessible. You could do everything on it, but it's really cool. You could bid on almost anything. I just won my first auction, an autographed Dave Winfield jersey. How cool is that?
If you're into that, hey, came from Minnesota, University of Minnesota, baseball player. I think he was drafted in like 3 different sports, wasn't he?
He was. And I was surprised how cheap I got this on the cheap side and everything. Baseball Hall of Famer, my favorite player growing up. So I thought that was pretty cool to have framed and go in my office here and everything. And then the other site, it's an app on the iPhone, is Fanatics. And they used to have horrible accessibility. And I kept it on my iPhone, which is the reason why to keep some of these apps that you really hopefully can use one day. If they're not accessible today, just put them in a folder. They had a big sale this past weekend, and they have sales all the time. And now I was amazed at how good their accessibility's gotten. And I told you about that app. Jeff, did you play around with Fanatics at all?
Yeah, I did. I flipped through it. And, when it comes to clothing and stuff like that, it's really hard to tell, what kind of, I don't like the hoodies or something that are tight around the neck. I like a V or, the 3 lace. I like it open a little bit. And some of them weren't descriptive enough, but the accessibility was top notch.
Yeah. I actually had somebody look at I bought a new Yankee winter jacket and everything. So it was a very Yankee-centric week and everything. Serina, any apps out there that you're hoping might come accessible, or are you pretty content with the apps you're using these days?
My hopes are for apps that are probably pretty hard for people to make accessible, but for the longest time, I have been begging Canva to make it more accessible, to even create an image that's just words, that's a quote, because for the freelance stuff that I do and social media in general, it's super vital to be able to make eye-catching photos because you have to play the game even though people can't see them. And it's just no graphic editing software is easy to make accessible, and I get that. But I just want to be able to pick a color in the background, pick my text color, and make a quote. That's all I want.
You're simple.
Yeah.
Words with Friends. Did they ever make that accessible? I gave up on that one.
I tried it years ago, and I gave up on it too because it was confusing because there's this weird grid and there's all these weird buttons that are unlabeled and
that wasn't accessible. Yeah. How about you, Jeff? Any apps that you check from time to time to see about accessibility that you'd like to see made accessible?
I think the WordPress app, I keep on going through there, and they've gotten a lot better. Some people use WordPress for blogs. They do have one on the iPhone that you can use, and I have to admit that it has gotten a lot better. But then again, I haven't taken it all the way home, like do a blog and do it all the way through the phone. So it seems like it's getting better. But
I don't think it has any issues. I don't blog on my phone because that's a pain in the butt. But I've had drafts on my phone and then gone back and edited them, added pictures. It even lets you add alt text to the pictures from your phone. Like, it's pretty robust. I don't think I've ever had any issues on it.
I posted using it on my phone as well.
Automatic, that's the company that owns WordPress. They're doing a better job, and I've actually contacted them about some of their WordPress platforms that they have, but sometimes they make programs that certain web hosts install, and then they manage them. So it's interesting. The one on the iPhone, that's one that I do keep a tab on. It seems like it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, most apps these days seem to be doing, the ones that can be made fully accessible seem to be doing a better job. And we'll see what this year brings, because we know just because it works today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, and when I say tomorrow, I don't mean exactly tomorrow. I mean months down the road. So you'll probably hear more about this. But Serina, you're going to some kind of a leadership conference. Is that that mean you will be our future leader?
I've always been your leader.
Oh, that's funny because I am not a follower. I just unfollowed you on Twitter.
I don't think you know how to do that.
Oh, come on. I know how to do basic tasks.
No, Brian, we didn't get a text asking how you do that, so we know you didn't.
In all seriousness, though, I am attending, it's the Blind Leaders Development Program. And I guess this is the first year that they've ever done it. And they received a grant from American Express to be able to essentially sponsor us for most of the cost to attend a leadership development workshop for 2 days, as well as the leadership conference for the second half of the 2 weeks, the week that we're there.
So is this something you were selected for? Or?
Yeah, it was a competitive process.
Mm-hmm. There was a $100,000 grant they did last year to get this going, and this is the first one. You're a fellow, right?
Whatever that means, I think so.
Oh, you're a recipient.
Yeah.
Recipient.
Yeah, they call it like a participant because there's some mentors too. So there's 16 on each side.
Where's the conference, in D.C. or?
It's in Arlington, so yeah, D.C. pretty much.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really nervous. I'm like...
Don't get lost in the cemetery there.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
don't take Weston to relieve in the cemetery. Good tip.
So other than becoming our future leader, what else do you have going on?
That's about it right now. That's what my immediate focus is on, because that's at the end of March. I think it's right after you go to CSUN, right, Brian?
Yeah, I should be back. So why, you want me to come down there and hang?
Yeah, I don't know. You see how he just invited himself? Like
I didn't invite myself. I inquired. There's a difference. Didn't you hear the question at the end?
No, it really sounded like you invited yourself.
There could be the tomb of the unknown podcaster down there soon.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, that's Arlington for you. No, that's cool. No, we're wishing you the best there. And Jeff, what do you have going on?
At the end of March, I'll be headed to Pittsburgh because they have a hockey event out there for the disabled hockey. It goes from sled hockey to warrior hockey, which is our military service, the Warriors, to blind hockey and deaf hockey, I believe it is. So they have a big national thing going on out there. So going to go out to that at the end of March. So we'll all be traveling in March. So going to be interesting. Serina, I have a question for you. When you travel and you're going to a conference type of deal, the leadership program, when you pack, do you live in your suitcase or do you unpack?
So typically, like when I go on vacation or it's a more relaxed trip, I live out of my suitcase. But for this particular trip, we're required to dress in business professional clothing. So like blazers and nicer slacks and things like that.
Ripped jeans and a t-shirt?
After hours.
Yeah.
After hours.
Brian clearly wouldn't fit in. So I'm actually planning on unpacking as soon as I get in so that my things are less likely to get all wrinkled and things like that.
Yeah, because when I get to a hotel, I always open up the closet and count the hangers, see how many I get. I'm an unpacker.
Is it an even split hanger-wise between you and Lori?
I don't know. Sometimes, you got to be fair. I mean, you got to stay in the same room. You got to be nice, right? Yep.
I'm most of the time in the suitcase. I take out the nice clothes that need to be hung up, like the sports jacket or whatever. But the jeans and the rest of the clothes, I don't sort of putting stuff in the drawers because I like to be nice and organized. I'm one step below OCD when I travel, where I've got.
See, and I never put anything in the drawers because that's part of why I normally don't unpack. Because I'm paranoid that I'll forget something. Because it's so easy to do when you can't visually just scan things. So I try to keep everything in one area and contained,
You guys ever meet the person that rolls their clothes up instead of folds?
Those are weird.
That's my husband.
Is he ex-military?
No, but it actually keeps your clothes from getting wrinkled, though. So it actually does work. And it saves a lot of space in the suitcase.
Well, here, I had a question until Jeff took it away.
And then you...
Oh, so... and then I found it again. I found it, so don't say anything, Jeff.
Right. I know my place.
If you guys are traveling alone, say you're 3 days and you're in a hotel, do you have the do not disturb sign on, or do you let the maid in? Do you like to get the bed made, or do you like nobody messing with your stuff so it's all in the spot you put it in?
I've never had any maid mess with my stuff like that, because if I'm by myself, it's usually for work, and I'm not in the room when they're cleaning or anything anyways, and I've never had them move my things. I did forget a blanket once that I had brought for Weston to sleep on, and they found it. I think I may have misplaced it, or the maid folded it and put it somewhere, but it was like a $5 blanket. I didn't care.
How about you, Jeff?
He's pouting in the corner because you wouldn't let him talk.
I just didn't want to lose the train of thought.
I've been at conferences where I do podcasting and have some stuff set up and stuff like that. I always put the do not disturb out on the door, and other times I don't really care. Sometimes I want them to come in because they might replace the K-cups or they might replace other things that, especially the towels. I like having things refreshed if you're staying, especially when it depends on if you're staying for the weekend, 2 nights, or if you're staying 7 days. After a while, that one towel is not going to do it, Brian.
But isn't it funny how in a hotel, 1 week of a towel is unacceptable, but at home you do your laundry once a week anyway?
Once a week? Once every 3 months. No.
But I just think it's so funny how, like, when we stay in a hotel, we're like, oh, I need a new towel. Yeah. It's been 3 days.
And Jeff, even with Do Not Disturb on, I could call down to the front desk and have them send up more towels. So that's always a problem.
If you really want it quiet in the morning, if you're going to sleep late, just get a bunch of Do Not Disturbs and put it on all your neighbors' doors, too.
Oh, that'd be evil.
No vacuuming going on, no nothing.
Do you also call the front desk and cancel all the wake-up calls for the people next to you so their phones don't wake you up and everything?
Here's a funny story. We were down in Orlando, and my wife's niece and aunts and stuff, they came and visited. So they parked in the spot, which it's like $17 and they stayed overnight and they went out and did all these things. So they were there for like 3 days. So it would have been like, $40 some, $50. And I went down there and I went down to the lady and she goes, oh, you drove? And I held my cane up to her and I looked at her and said, what? She goes, well, that's silly. They got parking on here. So she took that off. And then she said, I wanted to ask you, what's this internet stuff?
Jeff.
And she took off my internet and I used it 7 days, that high expensive
Jeff,
stuff.
they're going to charge you now.
You're a bad man,
I can't believe you used
Mr.
your
Thompson.
cane to get out of charge it.
But they made me move one day. They made me move to the other hotel. And I complained about it and stuff like that. So when we got to the hotel, because they were overfilled, I had a suite because everything else was taken. I had a suite. I had a living room and 2 rooms.
Just to yourself?
No, my wife was there, and Nick D'Ambrosio came down too. So it was like, hey.
When I could still see and I walked with a cane, I walked into a hotel one time. And if you thought I'm a miserable person now, you should have seen me back then. I could feel the hotel employee staring at me as I walked up to the front desk, and I also could see a little. And she's like, will you be parking a car with us? And I'm like, yeah, you're a rocket scientist.
No, if they're going to tell me about me not being able to drive, why would I need internet? Take that off.
Because they just assume, yeah.
Yeah. Woof, there goes $130. Woof, there goes $50.
I remember one of the first times I traveled with Nash, I was in the hotel room and the phone in the room rang. I'm like, I actually was able to find it, and I pick it up, and they're like, yeah, this is the front desk. We've been told that you have a dog in your room. I'm like, yeah, I'm blind, a guide dog. And they said, oh, will there be anything else? And I said, no. And they hung up.
Don't you hate you know what it was? It was some nosy person that was staying beside you that was like, oh my God, there's a dog in there, I'm telling.
Now, if you guys, when you do travel and you make a hotel reservation, if it's not for a blind conference, or even if it is, if you book over the phone, do you let the hotel know that you will be traveling with a service dog, Serina?
I don't let the hotel know. When I book like a plane ticket, I typically do. Because sometimes you get some perks with that as far as picking your seats and things like that. Oh, you always do.
Front row.
But I've never told the hotel. They just figure it out when I get there because it doesn't matter. There's nothing different they would do anyways. Some hotels do make you fill out this weird form. They'll fill it out for you, but it's more a safety form so that if there's an emergency, they know that there's a service animal there.
I just booked a second stay in Los Angeles after CSUN, and my buddy who's been on our podcast, Brian Walensky, will stay 2 nights, and I'll be there 5 nights in LA. I'll be doing some shows. So if you're in the greater Los Angeles area and you want to see me, I'll be at the Improv on Melrose. Don't know the dates yet. Anyhow, when booking on Expedia, there was a button to press at the end of everything. It says, do you need any accessible features during your stay? And I just opened it, and sure enough, one of them was, are you traveling with a service dog? I checked yes, and then it had a bunch of other options that it offered you. Will you need assistance getting to the... I was really impressed with Expedia, and I did this all through the app. They've done a really good job with their accessibility, and that way, at least when I get to the hotel, they know, and hopefully I've stayed at this hotel before. Hopefully I won't be hassled and everything. So I just don't like being hassled, I'm a low maintenance guy.
You know what I'm super excited about, and it kind of relates to the accessibility thing, is I just bought concert tickets to, I bet Jeff can guess to who, because he knows who like my favorite person is.
Halsey.
BB King.
One of you was right.
BB King's dead, Brian.
Oh.
But the venue that it's at, Red Rocks, I don't know, I guess it's like the second most, like people really like that amphitheater, I guess.
Yep.
And they have accessible seating, but it's not just accessible for like mobility. They have it where if you're blind to low vision, deaf, blind, they have special seats for you. So I bought tickets through that. I got second row tickets that should have been like $130 a piece for $50 a piece. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Madison Square Garden does stuff like that.
Yeah.
They discount their disability seating.
And they're good seats, huh?
Bon Jovi and Bryan Adams coming here.
Are they as good? Are they good seats too, like that?
It's Madison Square Garden. They have so many different areas of accessible seating.
I always like that. When you're blind, they move you really up close. It's like, I'm not going to fix that.
That's fine
Yeah,
with
those
me.
systemic things that people believe in. I'm not going to fix certain things, like, okay.
Yeah,
good.
but then you can't hear it.
Yeah, I'll take my second row seats.
I was going to see, what was that? The Cable Guy.
Movie?
Jim Carrey.
Larry the Cable Guy. And I got these tickets.
I said Jim Carrey because of the Cable Guy movie.
I see.
Not Mariah Carey, not Jim Carrey.
That's why we have first names, Larry. So Larry the Cable Guy got tickets, and I went through the disability thing, and I got tickets right in the balcony near the stage, where those two old guys would sit up.
The Muppets? The
Yeah.
Muppets.
So it was perfect seating. I was so proud. Well, my friends that I invited goes, that's great. Well, he's in a wheelchair. We get there, and they say, well, we don't have access for the wheelchair to those seats. So I had to sit way back.
I would have been like, see you after the show.
Yeah, see you, dude. Here's some popcorn.
That's really weird that they wouldn't have access to that, though.
It's Minnesota. What do you expect?
Ouch.
Halsey is coming to Minnesota, too.
Yeah, I saw that. You posted that a couple weeks ago about you got tickets for that. So good for you.
I'm so
That's the
excited.
second time. Second show.
Third show.
Third show. Wow.
This will be my third time seeing her,
Before she was famous, you were there.
apparently.
9 times Bon Jovi. So you've got...
I got a long way to go.
And I might be singing for a 10th time with Bryan Adams this July at the Garden. So
Did you already get your tickets, though?
No, because my friends are more flaky than me, and they're like, I can't commit this far out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you buy the accessibility ones, they're like real strict on you cannot transfer these.
Well, luckily the Garden, they still have a phone number where you have to call to get your accessible seating. I hate when you could just go online and anybody could buy them, because I remember one time in the Yankee playoffs, we were sitting in accessible seating, and I asked the people next to them, I said, I'm sorry, are you disabled? And they're like, no, these were the only seats available.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
I think they do a better job of checking that these days, but that was 20 years ago.
No, it still happens.
We're a tech show, and I had an article that was eliminated from this, but we're talking about accessibility. But this blind dog, he's part of a sled team from Minnesota.
Just had to get it in there, didn't you?
Yeah, he went
this
300
is that Blind
miles.
Tech Show.
100 miles.
You can
400
email
miles.
us in at blindtechshow@gmail.com. Not every article can make the show.
Why are you so obsessed with the sled dog dude?
Yeah.
Well, at least his sled dog's name wasn't Sparkles.
Hey, that's a groundhog.
Why are you judging the groundhog's name?
Yeah, you're very judgmental. Judgmental Jeff.
Brian couldn't say it without laughing for 5 times. That's why I had 57 retakes.
It was 74 times.
Sorry, I was trying to help him out here.
I'm not a leader like Serina, who could probably just get through it like one. So does this mean after she gets back from the conference, she'll have to do the intros for the show because she's our leader?
Well, technically the program's a whole year long, so.
Oh.
2021.
Is it a pass-fail or grade thing?
She's done after March.
Of
No,
this year?
it starts in March.
No, with That Blind Tech Show.
Oh. I can't be associated with you guys anymore.
You're moving on to the BBD, the bigger, better deal, huh?
The bigger, better deal.
I did have to sign a photographic release.
Ooh.
So if I'm on a plane with you after March and it goes down, does that mean I have to follow you off the plane?
Why are you so morbid right now? Killing me. Literally.
I got you covered there, Serina.
Oh, look at him kissing up to the big leader.
All hail Serina, fearless leader. All hail Serina, fearless leader.
By the way, Jeffrey.
Uh-oh.
You still owe me a review.
Serina, it was very good, and I'm sorry I didn't call you.
What had happened was
I went onto the page, and there's a section there where if you say you publicly like it or something like that, then you put the review in there, then you type it in.
Did you do
Well,
that?
I stopped, and I wanted to contact you, but
That's what I wanted, yes.
okay. So I was doing it right.
Yes, old man.
Because next time I went to check it out again, all of a sudden it popped up again, and I said, "Okay, stop that," because it knew I had
recommend.
That's it.
How do you get Facebook to stop telling you, like, oh, so-and-so's a friend suggestion? Because I seem to be getting like 400 of them a week now.
Oh, I just hide that section of my...
I get emailed and I get notifications on my phone about it, which are annoying me.
Oh, so you'll need to go into your settings, your notification
I've turned it
settings.
off before, though. Facebook is
You
just
must
turning
have
things
your
back on.
email ones turned on or something, because I don't get emails about that or notifications.
It's kind of convoluted. I was just in there today.
It's really annoying.
I was going down to see how you can shut off tracking.
Facebook doesn't track us.
I learned so much about advertising on Facebook yesterday. Like, did you know, so like you opt into an email campaign, right?
Yep.
Like somebody's like, hey, give me your email, you get $10 off. They then take those emails, plop them in the Facebook, and then the ads are then retargeted to you.
Yeah, whatever happened with iOS 13 and being able to log into like Facebook and all these apps with just like an Apple one-time thing?
Isn't it funny how that just nobody talks about it anymore? It's like AirPower.
Apple sign-in. Yeah. What happened to Apple sign-in?
I never seen it.
It never rolled out.
Yeah. Nice job, Tim Cook.
Yeah.
That's like not the first time though. Like think of all the things that they've talked about that we've never seen.
Apple tags.
That's supposedly coming out this year.
Yeah. Well, that was a rumor. That wasn't actually like talked about.
They're saying it's coming out later this year.
Say they're coming. They say, yeah.
I don't believe it.
With AirPower.
So they said AirPower was coming for how long?
Rumor has it
AirPower 2 is coming out this year.
AirPower Mini. I mean, can it be a Mini if there's never a Max?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
iPhone 10 when there was never an iPhone 9, so...
Well, that's coming out too. Do you not read any Apple news?
I did see that, because what is it going to be, like the SE2? They're going to call it the 9. The numbering is ridiculous.
Have you checked the Apple tea leaves?
Apple is so hot that 9 now comes after 12 and before 13.
But you know what? Say what you will. Their stock was trading at an all-time high after their earnings report.
I know.
I keep thinking, should I buy into it? And then it just keeps going up and up, and I'm like, damn.
Oh, you know what? I bought it. We bought 5 shares like a few years ago when they did that 7-way split. So we paid like $100 a share. And I think the last time I looked, it was like
300.
Yeah. I was like, I know it's ask your device or whatever. I don't have anything in here with me. But it's such a huge return on the investment already.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. There was an article that I saw the headline, because that's how we read nowadays. Then the headline says, might you have too many Apple shares? And I'm thinking to myself, I'd love to have that problem.
Who could have too many Apple shares?
Jeff Bezos.
Well, no, he's
the only one.
Something tells me that he doesn't have any.
His wife has half of them.
Oh, too soon.
He's already earned back that half he lost.
That's like the new divorced Barbie, comes with half of Ken's stuff.
Oh my goodness. Or did they really get progressive and Ken comes with half of Barbie's stuff?
Ooh, I like that.
Because she is the breadwinner.
I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I'll get in trouble again. But before we wrap, don't you guys want to say something to me? This is the last time you'll be podcasting with me as a 19-year-old.
Oh, Brian, I hope your birthday was fine.
Yeah, because your birthday already occurred. Don't you remember, old man?
Occurred?
Occurred?
What's occurred?
Do you not know what occurred means?
Not the way you said it.
Yeah.
I said occurred.
No,
it's in cottage cheese. It's in cottage cheese. There's large and there's small curds. You know what I mean?
Hammock.
Oh my goodness.
Hammock.
Oh my gosh.
Jeff, I expect flowers and candy on my birthday like somebody else got. I got nothing this year. Nothing.
You'll get the biggest football game of the year on your birthday.
That is
How about
true.
that?
A Super Bowl. That's what you'll get.
We should send him a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah, except now that I'm blind, you bounce it once. Well, that was fun.
You're like, I lost it. I don't know. And then your dog eats it, and then it's a whole other thing.
I like when it goes under the table and it goes.
I woke up the other morning to paper towels, thousands of pieces. I had no clue I dropped one on the floor.
And do you have a shredder dog?
Yeah, he thinks the greatest thing ever is a paper towel on the floor.
You'll never get all those pieces up.
No, and I have a cleaning lady that comes in, and my Roomba tried to destroy my apartment again.
Did it take all the cords again?
Yep, but a different section underneath the bed. It unplugged my charging station, my Echo Show. It unplugged. It tried ripping the surge protector thing halfway across the room, and
You're supposed to pick those things up before you turn the Roomba on.
it's underneath and it's stashed away, and I run it like right when I'm running out, so that way the dog doesn't get sucked up.
Serina, I'm with you on that. I mean, if someone says run the Roomba, that means for the next 15 minutes, I prep. I go around, find the cords, put the shoes.
Yeah.
I have a routine. The dog stuff goes here. The garbage cans even get moved because they can go underneath there.
What do your cats do? Have you had one less cat any times after the Roomba finished running?
No, but when you clean those out, it's really, I know, you could just make little coats.
There's enough fur for a cat in there. It's kind of shocking how much it picks up.
That's awesome when you do open it up and you go, wow. Because at first I was like, okay, get this machine. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. But then when you use it and you empty it out, you go, oh, really? Wow.
You're like, this was on my floor. This is disgusting.
I know. Some Barbies over there bald now because this is a big, huge chia pet.
Jeff, that's not that's new age inclusive Barbie and everything. So
Ken got his revenge on Barbie.
Yeah, you can have half my stuff.
I'll take your hair.
I really wish I would have waited on the Roomba because, Serina, you mentioned something about one where you can actually do those virtual rooms with them.
Well, the Roomba has that too. It's just a magnet strip you put down.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So don't come in here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just a strip of magnet, and it avoids it. It'll go up to it and turn around.
How's that work? Does it work well? I don't even know where I put mine.
You got a magnet strip?
Sometimes it ignores it, and most times it does work, though.
When it ignores it, does Jeff go, bad Roomba, bad Roomba?
What model do you have?
Mine's a Shark one,
Oh, a Shark.
but they all use just the magnet stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Because mine's about 2 years old now. Don't know if it's...
You can buy the virtual room thing for it. I think it works with all of them. It's like an add-on.
Or not work with all of them, as you said.
Huh. Because that would be really cool because, I used to block off a little bit, but those things
They find their way around everything.
they're curious.
Yeah, I put my foot down to guard the dog, and Nash the robot keeps ramming me, and that's not nice.
Our dogs just ignore it, though. They don't mess with it. They just lay on their beds, and then it can't mess with them.
Well, Brian, take us home.
Well, we have been That Blind Tech Show on the Facebook. You can find us there. Join us there. We're That Blind Tech Show at gmail.com. What did I say the name of the Facebook group was?
You didn't.
I didn't? Okay, let's try this again. Hey, if I couldn't bring us in, I can't bring us home. At least I'm consistent, if something. We are
Mean jokes for blind folks.
That is...
What is it?
Jeff, we've moved past... That was 30 minutes ago.
Oh, that was much longer than 30 minutes ago. I really got to pee. Let me finish this.
Oh, my goodness. We do not... I told you.
Why is that going to make the podcast?
I told you.
I feel like Forrest Gump, when he's at the White House, I had like 15 Dr.
Peppers. Mm-hmm. And rum.
Diet Dr. Peppers for me, though. No, just Diet Dr. Peppers. You know how much rum I'd waste trying to pour them into the cans?
That's what do you not have glasses in your house? What
am I, a rich folk like you?
Bose glasses.
My goodness.
I like drinking out of the can.
Do you have dishes at all?
Dishes, paper plates. Come on.
No,
Of
cups.
course I have all that. I have a dishwasher, too.
That's never been used.
This has been That Blind Tech Show. I want to thank all of you for joining us.
And sticking through the entire show.
The entire thing.
You're so much politer than me. I just close it.
I want to thank you for listening.
This is That Blind Tech Show. You can
And until next time,
join us on the Facebook.
bye-bye.
That Blind Tech Show at gmail.com. You forgot about the Twitter, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
At Blind Tech Show on Twitter. I had to think about it there. And for now,
Bye-bye.
we are out.
There's a after out. I get to the editing of that. You always say, we're out.
We're ow.
Yeah,
Ow.
we are out.
Like you stubbed your
Ow.
toe.
It's the way I talk.
There's no t. Do you know how many times I went and found a t to put back there just so it doesn't sound so stupid like a bad editing job?
Oh my goodness.
What? What did I say? Out?
I don't hear.
That's all you say.
You don't say the T.
I said out.
Out. Out.
Out.
We are out.
Out.
There you go. There you go.
Out.
There.
Now he's
Out.
going to be
Thank you.
overemphasizing it every time.
Out.
Now Wes is super
Yeah.
confused.
Well, I just gave you the next 5 shows there. Out. 6.
No, 5. That last one sounded like a duck.
Out.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations and the realities of blind abilities.
The realities of blind
abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.